Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Okay. I gotta wake up. Hi. We're gonna wake up some Top Gear right now. Hey, the original link to the video, top of the description. Below that, link to the Discord. We'd love to have you. And Series 18. It doesn't matter. It's Top Gear stuff. It's awesome. Let's get started. My name's Connor. Did I say this already? All the things. Let's go.
Thanks very much. So coming up now is a montage of what you can expect over the next 7 weeks.
57 miles to the gallon.
So,
Really good.
spacious and economical.
Going through the first corner here now.
And that is how a camshaft works.
Mate. No, there's been a bit of a mistake. That is the tape we sent to the newspapers in the hope they'd be fooled into thinking that's what we were doing. What we're actually doing is this.
Is it?
China.
In the plums. Let's go.
Let me just... I didn't want to be covered by the screen. Okay. Yep.
One thing straight from the start. Formula One is better than NASCAR. What? Just as if you compare them to musical instruments, F1 is a Stradivarius violin, NASCAR is banging a saucepan with a wooden spoon. Now, we all agree on that in the civilized world. Well, when I say we all agree apart from Richard J. Cheeseburger Hammond III.
No!
Well, I'm very
I thought they were going to hate on Hammond for being half American more. Not that
pleased
he's...
to be able to
Never mind. I'm sorry.
Hammond III.
Well, I'm very pleased to be able to report that my prejudices remain completely intact. When you add the word Nürburgring to the name of a car, it's really just code for ruins, because the ride is absolutely rock hard. Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh. Car makers become obsessed with making their cars go round this irrelevant historic German racetrack as fast as possible without realizing that they're ruining the car for those of us who live in the real world. Ow! It's utterly hopeless.
Whoa! What the hell?
Special effects budget for this show.
Hammond! It was supposed to be a gas bottle. What the hell? You blew the wrong caravan up.
You hit the wrong one!
I didn't hit the wrong one. That was the one we were supposed to
You
hit.
should have labelled it!
Out of context, this is pretty hilarious.
There is a loading bay just outside our office, which is a lot more convenient, but obviously there's no parking there. Now, I took a photograph in this loading bay this week, okay? Here it is. Now, we may recognise this car if we watch The Apprentice. It belongs to Lord Sir Sugar.
Yeah, but to be fair, his chauffeur was probably loading him into the building at the time.
Exactly.
So it could be in the loading
Technically, this was a delivery, so that's fine. More worrying is this, okay? If we zoom in. Now, right there's a little Fiat Panda parked blocking the door and the honest working men whose job is to deliver things to the BBC. And I'm wondering, Hammond, who has a little black Fiat Panda?
I don't know. At the BBC? I don't know. Is it?
Does David Attenborough? No, he doesn't.
Paxman.
Moving on. And then in 1992, they even made a car with no steering wheel.
In actual fact, the more you drive this, the easier it becomes. The temptation is to just stare at the end of the bonnet in wonderment that you can actually have any directional control at all.
The seconds ticked by, but there was no sign of my Roe.
Where has he gone?
I don't know.
After we dragged the tax stig off the marshal,
Cross the line.
This, you just know.
That suit is a little more flexible. Oh, God, great pause. Is a bit more flexible than I imagined.
Stick off the marshal. Cross the line. This, you just know. All they ever talked about was G. They were sitting going, how can we make it go around a corner a little bit faster with a camber?
It's a supercar.
So we give it guns. Let's give it guns. Space rockets. This, they will have had 7 years of meetings to get to that windscreen wiper.
So it works properly?
Yes.
But what's wrong with that?
Well, Lamborghini would have said, why don't we just use, like, a laser? Why don't we have lasers shooting heat onto the windscreen to get rid of it? That's why I love Lambos. They're all mental.
Have you had a lot of pop today, Jeremy?
You see, according to the newspapers, more than a quarter of adults are now obese. And in just a few years' time, over 50% of the population will be absolutely enormous. So, what could a typical family of the future do to this car's performance?
And let's be real, all cars in Europe are miniature.
Over 50% of the population will be absolutely
Why am I-
enormous.
Sorry.
What could a typical family of the future do to this car's performance?
I get so stupidly defensive over stuff that doesn't even affect me. It's so dumb.
$320, $325.
Trying to come up with a joke and it's not working.
Right, so with just the Stig, it was 305 metres. With our family on board, it took an extra 177 metres, more than half as much again.
Let's just take,
Lot of
for an
power.
example, rounders, right? That's played by small children here. Over there is Babe Ruth and a religion.
So is the point of this that, like, if you're overweight, you're killing more people in traffic accidents? Like, what was... That's what I love about sometimes watching these out of context, and I'm lazy. Is that, like, what was the hypothesis?
Let's just take, for an example, rounders, right? That's played by small children here. Over there is Babe Ruth and a religion, and then you've got netball, which here is just a lot of schoolgirls standing so you can only move 1 foot, and there's 4 parents watching, and over there it's the, what is it, Harlem Globetrotters.
They are quite easily amused.
They're unbelievably easily amused, and that's why they're able to make NASCAR exciting. It's just some good old boys going around in a circle.
You're not
and
going to
they
have
go,
me
"Oh,
defending
hell,
that.
I got paid, watch that. 250,000 people turn up to watch it.
Because it...
Oh, hell, I got paid, watch that. 250,000 people turn up to watch it.
Because it is a good sport. It's a great thing to watch.
And you would say that because you're an American.
Not an American. I'm not.
Hammond, you've got a Stetson, you've got cowboy boots, you've got chaps, you've got a Harley Davidson, you've got a Mustang, you'd like to get a beer, and you put cheese on everything.
I don't. I'm not American.
You have made a living out of being an American. Your Saturday night programme is a fat man falling off some foam rubber. All right, hey, we'll watch that. And they turn up in their millions. There was more too, because you could even buy your turbo with water injection. I don't understand that.
Well, I could explain it to you, but you're not interested.
No, I am interested.
You're not. Are you really interested?
I am interested.
Okay, water injection in the inlet cools the charge and makes it denser. It's the job that was later done by the intercooler. No, you're absolutely right. The onboard footage will be the key to it, but I will be the steward because I shall adjudicate on this.
I'm not having you judging.
What?
You can't even play a game of Monopoly without cheating.
No, you can't. You cheated or not. He did. He did cheat.
I used to at a game of Monopoly, and he
We played for 4 hours and you cheated.
I did not.
You ruined the game. You made it.
You robbed the bank. There was a bank robbery, but you don't get those in Monopoly, and I thought it would make it more authentic if the bank was robbed.
You stole it. So you're a cheat, a liar,
I
and
played
a
the
burglar.
role.
There's a jail in the
this
game.
motor racing incident, I'm going to use Ofcom because they are wise.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
You are going to be shot in front of your family. Something it turns out. can say that on television, turns out.
Yeah.
Just outside London, we
All right, I notice weird things like this. Okay, I'm sorry, but this woman was not laughing the entire time, right here. Okay, right here, and all the jokes, and until the shooting you in front of your family, then she's
On television, turns out.
then she's
Yeah.
just outside London, we met up at a service station to compare notes.
Is this the worst trip to work you've ever had?
No, not so far.
Mine's the most embarrassing.
If you were going to work today to a factory that you own to lay off all of your stuff, my car would not be the car to make that journey in. Or think, I'm going to have to tell that patient the news is not good.
Or if you were a funeral director.
No, none of this.
I'm very
no.
sorry about your loss.
So, it's driven by electric motors, but it has its own on-board power station.
And you might be thinking,
wait. Then why does it have the grill? You guys lied to me. What is the point of a grill? Some of you said it was to do with, you had to inject air with the fuel, or just to cool the engine. But why would an electric one? I guess you could. Does the battery heat up a lot? I don't know.
you've sort of heard something a bit like that before. Well, you have.
Yes, I'm talking about
No, stop. I'm sorry.
driven.
No, none of this.
I'm very sorry about your loss.
So, it's driven by electric motors, but it has its own on-board power station.
And you might be thinking, you've sort of heard something a bit like that before. Well, you have.
Yes, I'm talking about the Hammerhead Eagle eye thrust, which, I might point out, was also fitted with its own electricity generator. And that was 2 years ago.
Answer mobile.
There's no polite way of putting this. Fisker have very blatantly, brazenly, I'd say, copied my idea for a long-range electric car. Except they didn't have theirs styled by Jeremy, but the technology is exactly the same. As my lawyers will be making very clear quite soon.
Guys, I am shocked at the amount of... All right, I'm not a big car person in general, okay? So maybe it's not that much of a shock, but at just how different the average car brands are in the US compared to what I see on Top Gear or other videos in the UK. It just... You have so many... I'm like, wait, what is that, huh? What is that? That's not a Honda. That's not a Toyota. Chevy, Ram, Dodge, Jeep. So yeah, there's so many. I'm like, wait, what is that?
Car. Except
Not to say we don't have a lot in common.
I'd say, copied my idea for a long-range electric car. Except they didn't have theirs styled by Jeremy, but the technology is exactly the same. As my lawyers will be making very clear quite soon.
Canada. Lake
Did
Winnipeg.
you go into fifth gear? You went into fifth, didn't you?
I learned about
I said
gears.
don't go into fifth, it'll just become rear-wheel drive, and then this'll happen. Diamond,
Yes.
blood type,
Yes.
red.
Well, it is. It's red. I've checked. Stuck a pin in it. B?
B minus.
I hear that it's a complete, which I believed it for a little bit, and I can't believe I believed it. But like, oh, blood is actually purple in the inside of your body. It's only red when it's exposed to oxygen. And I didn't really question it that much, but it's like, no, your veins are blue, and so red inside of the blue vein, it looks purple or whatever. I can't believe I fell for that.
I don't know what I am.
Blood is red, whether it's in your body or out. Unless I'm wrong again, in which case, jeez.
Stuck a pin in it. B?
B minus. I don't know what I am.
That's an exam result.
B minus.
Just a letter.
It's what I'm used to seeing on
Well,
film.
I wasn't sure, so I've put A, B plus, because that way I get the lot, so one of them will be right.
As you can see, obviously I put stickers on mine.
Yeah, where did...
Isn't O the good
It's the
one?
BBC, and you have to have stickers on a racing car.
Fragile roof?
I know, but the
Really?
BBC doesn't allow brand names, does it? So I'll put health and safety notices all over it, because that's what the BBC likes. Hey, the news. There was a man in the papers this week who has failed his driving theory test 92 times. 92?
Hey, at that point, I admire the persistence.
I don't want to be rude, but he must be an idiot.
Well, now, interestingly, you say that. Have you seen the theory test?
Well, I didn't have to do one.
No, is anyone here, have you seen the theory test? Anybody? Yeah. You have? Because most people, I think, of our age haven't. And none of the questions have got anything to do, as far as I can work out, with driving. And can I give you some examples, right? You can answer this. An elderly person's ability could be affected because they may be unable to...
Eat toffees.
No.
Drive?
Erection.
True.
Wear jeans.
Where's the safest place to park your vehicle at night?
In a police station.
True.
It's completely frozen.
Garage?
It's just a claw.
Garage?
Also, there are holes in the floor.
What is the
behind
point
bed.
of? What is even the point of these? What? They look really like glasses. Isn't? Aren't you creating a low pressure area right below here, which means the water and wind going right over is going to go down and then just right in your face? Actually.
All the air and the wind and the rain is going up my trouser legs. Also, rain is running off my jacket into my lap. None of these things are good news for my genitalia, which has run away.
Maserati say that unlike any other big 4x4, it has a luxury atmosphere. Because, you know, every time I get in a Range Rover, I always think, oh no, I've accidentally got into a cowshed.
Yeah.
And then they say there are no off-roaders that give a sporty feel.
Well, what about the Porsche Cayenne? Or the Mercedes ML63?
BMW X5.
Exactly.
All of that.
Yeah, I think Maserati, they're the sort of company that go, you know, we've invented a new type of watch, and what makes
Sorry.
it really good is you can wear it on your wrist.
This is quite awkward, isn't it? Because somebody's going to have to tell him, hey, Maserati, it's been done. It's actually there.
You're not.
Guys, I'm always.
Porsche Cayenne?
I love when other people know that cars. For this instance, where just shouting out these names, and obviously I know BMW, Porsche, Audi, but just saying, like, just seeing someone or people talk about things. This is such a simple thing that I'm not explaining. You know what I'm talking about. Just hearing someone just talk about something they know so much about and you know so little, especially like in a group like a group of people know, is fascinating. That didn't have to be said.
No off-roaders that give a sporty feel.
Well, what about the Porsche Cayenne? Or the Mercedes ML63?
BMW X5.
Exactly.
All of that.
Yes,
I
those.
think Maserati, they're the sort of company that go, you know, we've invented a new type of watch, and what makes it really good is you can wear it on your wrist.
This is quite awkward, isn't it? Because somebody's going to have to tell him, hey, Maserati, it's been done. It's actually there.
You're not going to... What I love about this, though, is it's called the Kuban, right? Which, being a Maserati,
Looks
is
nice.
the noise it will make the day the warranty runs out. Actually, while we're on the subject, did you see that case recently? A woman who was stopped by the police after they caught her driving down a motorway while causing herself to have pleasure.
And I bet you can't drive in a sleeping bag. Actually, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I think you could drive in a if you.
You couldn't drive in a sleeping bag.
I bet you.
Yeah,
I
you
bet I
could.
You can't.
I bet I
Yeah,
could
you
drive in a
can.
sleep-
Of course you can.
Oh,
You only use one foot. You only use one leg anyway. I mean, maybe if you drive the manual cars, actually, that's a good question. Do you press the furthest left wheel with your left foot? And because automatic cars, you know, I use my right foot to gas and brake. So you just use both feet in the sleeping bag. Easy.
There you go. Right, you're wrong. Sometime this week, before next week's show, I'll take you on around the track. You drive in a proper cocoon sleeping with your arms in it.
Yeah.
And race me, and I'll sew a button on my shirt.
Oh, let me guess, I'm going to drive whilst performing an act on myself.
I'm speaking to you now from behind a pair of fake Ray-Bans, wearing a fake Armani jacket, carrying a fake Louis Vuitton bag, in which we find a fake iPad and
Oh, that's
a
thick.
fake iPhone. And if we consult my fake Omega, we see that it's 25 to 3, probably.
Guys, aren't watches nowadays just like, if you like to collect watches, watches are just bracelets now. I mean, you don't need a watch. I'm sure some people will say, well, it's nice to just go. Well, yeah, but there are watches, there are clocks everywhere, and you have it on your phone all the time. And so you're essentially a bracelet collector, at this point. Like, you like nice bracelets, which is fine, but that's all a watch is now, right? Like, you just like how it looks.
Which means it's time to pop into the fake Starbucks over there for a cup of fake coffee. It seems then that the expression copyright infringement doesn't translate terribly well into Mandarin. What do you mean, a Le Mans start?
Well, on go, we run to our cars, jump in, start them, and drive off.
Running? It's not a school sports day. You have an egg and a spoon.
Look, it's 2 against 1. Just be ready for it, okay? 3,
I hate
2,
running.
1, go.
This is just stupid.
Oh, May, crushing. No, Hammond.
We could have been finished by now. Hammond has already begun.
See the torque now, the mighty 1.9 litre V-twin.
Sadly, my elderly colleagues were struggling to even get going.
Wait, that means you have to do with your left hand.
Very complicated starting procedure, this. Mode.
Eventually, James was belted in place, a bit too tightly as it turned out.
Oh, bloody hell.
Why won't you start? Stop saying ready to race.
Is that an amusement park?
Sorry. When something goes wrong with my car, Richard Hammond always...
Helps you.
No,
The
it
opposite
doesn't help
of that.
me.
No, he just gets in his car and
Drives
drives off.
off. You're right.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right, guys. All right.
We were leaving Hammond 200 miles away from Rome, and that made us feel quite sorry for him. 2 months he's been looking forward to driving his Noble right across Italy, and he's only gone 30 miles.
They have the best job I've ever had. I mean, they do Grand Tour now.
You got a nice
Even
finger.
All right, guys. I'm going to cut it here. All right, I can do the second part of this a bit later, but I think it's long enough, and I want to get to something other than just Top Gear. So hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate any comments or recommendations, anything, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.